So I don't know, guys. We have another example here of some cheating at a major Warhammer 40,000 event. It's up on the internet. It's up on Bell of Lost Souls and explored on other sites. So this is what, in the past couple of months, the third example of 40K cheating. And if you're new to tournaments, you're thinking, why do I even want to go to a tournament if I'm going to get cheated? Invest in the time and the effort and the money, not to mention having a good time, whether it's a hosted event or a kind of a more local rogue trader type event. So why does this seem to be more prevalent in the hobby? Because certainly for the years that I've been going to tournaments, and I started heavily going to 40K tournaments in 2007, starting with the Grand Tournament, the Games Workshop Grand Tournament down in Baltimore, when they actually supported such events, and they were aggressively supporting such hobby events. That was my jump into competitive play. Before that, I played 40K narrative. I played with my friends, and not that I still prefer to play that way, but it was definitely a jump into wargaming 40K tournaments. Almost on that time at a national level, both national events and rogue trader type events. There were cheating incidents over the years, but it was always a rogue player. It was always someone that they fit that player personality. Now it seems like we have normal 40K players trying to cheat. So why is that? Why do you think that is? I have a couple of ideas on that, and partially I think 40K is at fault in that it offers a playground for that to happen. And the second reason I think is just things are more out in the open right now. So if you think about just how events have evolved. I mean, in the past, there were events. There were some pictures up on a Games Workshop website. And then a few years later, we've got YouTube and battle reports and reporting after the fact. And now every event has live streaming, games that they're going to broadcast real time over the internet, games uploaded, commentary. It's almost like professional sports. So if you have people cheating, whether it's very complex cheating or more simplistic cheating, the number of eyeballs watching that video, watching that game, looking what happened this round versus last round, because these cheaters don't always have like the cheat button on every single round. First one or two rounds, you play normally. Then as you make it to the mid-pack and things heat up a little bit, you start seeing what you can get away with. Then you turn win mode on, cheat mode on towards the end. So you have people watching the first few battles, and they're like, you don't have combi weapons. Games 1, 2, and 3, no combis on anything. And now, all of a sudden, you're blasting out combi weapons, and we're checking your list. They don't exist. So I think that it's easier to catch the people that are doing this. That's the first thing. And the second thing, I understand where Games Workshop is trying to go. And I think it's great that they're going in this direction where you have your model collection. You should play it how you want to play it. And why should you be limited to just one little faction? Well, that plays into the kind of Citadel miniatures push where I want you to buy like 4 or 5 armies, and I want you to utilize all 4 and 5 armies. And why don't we just have like a light and dark faction? A good and bad, Chaos and Imperium, Tyranids, Space Bugs, they'll be off on their own somewhere. I mean, we already have Necrons fighting with the Imperium, and that's okay. That's been totally pushed into the kind of the narrative, the lore on there. Just play whatever the heck you want to play. Games Workshop tried to do that with Apocalypse back in the day. It didn't take off because there was no structure to it. They've, over the past 2 to 3 editions of 40K, with allies, with detachments, with formations, with free stuff, with supplements, with all these things that you can pull in. Think about this. You have very, very complex 40K armies. Add to this the fact this duality of Games Workshop is reducing the cost, not physical cost, of models. That's always going up. And the points on the game, the power level is also increasing. So you have more and more stuff on the table, more and more interlocking stuff on the table. I mean, that is good, but it's so complex. It's easy to get something wrong. It's easy to make a mistake. It's easy to overlook something. And there's a difference when this happens in a friendly game where you realize, wait, I made that adjustment to my list, but I should have subtracted this, or I should have not had this unlock. That's vastly different than you're playing in a big event with all these overlapping parts and things moving on there. It kind of helps set up that perfect storm. Now, obviously, haters are going to hate. Cheaters are going to cheat. They're going to find ways to do it. Some very slick and complex. Others rather amateur hour on there. What should be the recourse? Now, I've, in the past 2 or 3 days, kind of following what's going on. This has been put out to the point where they should just be banned from 40K altogether. Lifetime ban, enforced by the Inquisition, enforced by the internet, down to like this ranking system where, if you do this, it's like 6 ban points. If you do this, it's 8 ban points, and that gets you 2 months ban or 4 months ban. Well, my thought on it is the 40K community is very, very small. Even with you and I kind of talking on the internet, you're listening to my podcasts, my vlogs. Hopefully while you're doing this, you're painting up some good models. You're working on that hobby time. That's one of the focuses why I put out podcasts and vlogs, because I'm sitting here working on my own hobby stuff, and I'm checking out your YouTube channels. I'm checking out your videos. I'm listening to various battle reports and kind of watching them as I'm sitting here at my paint station. And that kind of gets me thinking about things. And I check out your comments, and it's like, hey, let's talk about this. So there's this duality in there. The 40K community is very small. If you get caught cheating, and it's legit cheating, there's a difference between you make a mistake or you're really unsure. There should be the benefit of the doubt. And that should be pushed pretty liberally, I think. But if you get caught, do you have to really worry about it? I think you should be banned from the tournament. Unless there's some major penance going on, and you go on the crusade with Lord Solaris on there and just out to the Outer Rim and clean out all the heretics. Then when you come back, okay, or join the Black Templars as a neophyte for a 1,000-year crusade, and then come back, possibly. But I think setting up systems and trying to publish things and do this and that, I think that's way too much bookkeeping for the hobby. And I think it's self-limiting, self-promoting. People know who the cheaters are. And again, going back to, it's broadcast on the internet. It's captured. It's no longer, well, they said this, someone said that, we don't know, you were there, I wasn't. Now we got the video. It's on there. I really believe it is going to be self-limiting. I want to say, though, and kind of as we move this out, this fine line between cheating. Years ago, at the 40K Club, there was this new player. Very smart player, fantastically painted armies. But when I played him, I used to really I didn't enjoy playing against him for a long time. And those of you that know me in real life, I'll roll the dice with anybody. I'll take my Cornate Berserkers. We'll go against anything you got. My Samhan Warhost, they'll pour out of the Webway portal. They'll do whatever they have to do. We'll see what happens. We'll have some fun. But this player was always moving models an inch or two further. They were kind of forgetting rules when it was convenient. They kind of were swapping war gear here and there because they were playing a different list now and a different list later. And you just were like, guy, what's going on? And I never said they were a cheater, but I really didn't enjoy playing them. And this was a lack of maturity on my part, because a couple of years later, I started to look back, and I realized the players in the 40K group that we were playing with, myself included, we were all veterans. We've been playing 10, 15 plus years. We all have established armies. And this was a new player to the group, very enthusiastic, a great modeler, great painter. And he had something to prove. He felt he had to prove himself to play. So that made him play a little bit more aggressively. That made him kind of play where he felt, again, he had to prove himself. And I realized, there was nothing to prove. And as soon as I viewed it in that light, and as soon as he felt more comfortable with the group, things got toned down. So I tell that story because there might be, unless it's on that videotape and it is blatantly obvious, not everything is an example of cheating. There could be there is that benefit of the doubt. But if you've been caught on tape, and another incident, if you've been caught on tape twice after you were let back in, that word's going to get around. Your own reputation alone is going to do it. So what are your thoughts on this? Is cheating a lot more rampant in 40K? And do you feel like there should be, just like there's various tournament formats that people use, do you think there should be a cheater code of conduct where if you get caught, it's this many ban points, you can't do this, you can't do that? Or is it just, look, let the 40K community know, and it'll be up to the tournament organizer, the TO, to say, look, I can't let you into this event. You know, this incident happened. We really don't want to promote that. We really can't support that. I'm very, very sorry. I can't do it.